following movie, we'll create a shell mesh across a single body with multiple faces, where each face will have a unique material property. We'll begin by creating the simulation files in the Nastran solver environment, and we'll next create the divisions for where we would like the different material properties. So we'll create an associative copy in the idealized part by promoting, and then we'll go to the modeling environment and create a curve which will define the border for the various material properties. Now that we have that curve created, we can divide the face by that curve. And here I can't select the curves yet because in my selection bar, you can see it's only looking for faces. So I'll go ahead and change that to a curve. We'll make sure we're projecting those curves normal to the face, and we'll go ahead and hide them since we don't need them. If they were too short, we could check the extend curves to make sure that they would get all the way to the edges of the face. But here you can see now our body has been divided into multiple faces, but we still have a single sheet body. And this is important from the standpoint of mesh congruence across those various faces. If we have a single body, we're going to get a congruent mesh across those faces. If we had multiple bodies, we could go ahead and stitch those edges together, and then we would get a congruent mesh across them as well. So there's a couple of different ways that we can create our 2D mesh in terms of selecting what we want to mesh. We can either select the polygon body and go ahead and mesh it, and that will pick up all of the faces, and it will put the entire mesh into, all of the elements into a single mesh, which we don't want because we need to be able to assign specific material properties to each region that we want to mesh. So let's go ahead and undo that and create our mesh again, this time being careful in the selection bar to only mesh faces. And we'll start by grouping those meshes into those that have similar material properties. So we'll just do the one mesh there, and we'll put it into its own collector. And here we'll create a new collector for the remaining faces, and we'll assign unique material properties to each of those two meshes in the collectors. Here I'll just give a name to each of the collectors. We'll say material 1 and material 2. And then we'll go ahead and assign the material that we want to the meshes in that collector. And the same thing for material 2. Here I'll select a different material. All right, so now we can also double check that we have no duplicate nodes or no cracks in our model here as well. Here we can check all of the nodes displayed. We can also make sure that we're checking even nodes within the same mesh, and you can see there's no duplicate nodes found. All right, now that we have that, just to confirm what meshes and elements have what materials assigned to them, we can assign a color basis to our elements based on the material that's assigned to it. And that concludes the demonstration.